This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google IJMNDI Free Essays.
Abstract. Network design is a sequential process that requires a thorough analysis of the needs of the business enterprise. The network's physical and logical layout structure has to match the design and business needs in that particular context. The main objective behind the design of this particular network is to enhance the sharing of resources and provide access to the Internet. Having a clearly stated objective plays a significant role in determining the strategy during network design. Evaluation of the business requirements, goals, and objectives forms the preliminary stage in network planning, design, and implementation. The design requirements are also important during planning and design. Design requirements for the proposed network. The design requirements of a network depend on the business needs. One of the significant design requirements for the network is to have a provision for the access of multiple email addresses. It is also important for the network to have access to the Internet for communication purposes. Another significant design requirement that needs to be incorporated into the network is that it has to host at least 2 workstation computers, which have been configured to share resources such as the printer and the point-of-sale application. Network security is not a major concern, therefore, low-level security measures similar to the home networks are efficient. Network planning and design. Network planning entails coming up with a logical and physical layout of the network components. In this case, there are no complex issues because the network requires hosting only 2 workstations. Network availability, reliability, performance, standards compatibility, and scalability play a significant role during the design phase. The configurations of the 2 workstations have to facilitate the sharing of resources and access to the Internet. The physical layout of the network. The most effective approach for connecting 2 workstations is peer-to-peer topology. However, to expand the network in the future, the use of star topology having a central switch or a hub is preferred. An 8-port switch is suitable for this connection since the business is less likely to expand to accommodate more than 8 workstations. To minimize the costs that are associated with switching and transmission, the location of the switch and the workstation will be close to eliminating the need for devices that are used to combat signal attenuation, such as repeaters and interconnected switches. The Ethernet cables used will be high quality, preferably Cat6 550 MHz UTP, untwisted pair, cables. The star topology is preferred because it eliminates issues associated with network failures. For instance, if a workstation breaks down, the functionality of the network is not impaired, thereby enhancing reliability. The star topology is also easy to implement and troubleshoot compared to other network architectures, which are more complex and require complex configuration methods for their effective functioning. This reduces the initial implementation and recurring maintenance costs. An Internet service provider will be in charge of providing access to the Internet. The choice of the ISP will depend on the monthly subscriptions, terms and conditions, the required hardware, and the complexity of setting up the network to have Internet access. The most basic hardware required to guarantee Internet connectivity is a router. Other third-party hardware and applications are usually at the expense of the Internet service providers. One workstation will host the printers and other shared applications, after which the necessary configurations are done so that the other workstation can access them. Printers that have Ethernet compatibility are preferred because they are less complex to configure. The logical layout of the network. Segmenting the network is unnecessary because its size is small and not complex. This means that the IP version 4 address is suitable for assigning IP addresses to the various network devices. There is no need to subnet the network. With the router as the default gateway, its IP address is 192.168.0.0.1. Other network devices' IP addresses must be static to enhance security. One approach to enhancing network security is disabling wireless broadcasting by the router. It is also important to encrypt the network's SSID to enhance security in cases where there will be wireless broadcasts. Hardware requirements. The hardware requirements mustn't exceed the allocated funds limit for the network project. Therefore, a thorough analysis and evaluation of the network components are vital without jeopardizing the functionality of the network. Software requirements for implementation of the network. Network management applications are also required in this context. The business significantly relies on billing applications. This means that it requires a billing application installed on the workstations to facilitate the carrying out of business activities. It is also important that the various applications be compatible for use in a Windows platform. Various billing applications can be web-based or licensed off the shelf. Licensed billing applications are preferred compared to web-based billing applications due to security issues. In addition, $500 will incur expenses that relate to the provision of the Internet to the business. This will entail all the costs incurred for the ISP to install necessary and configure fully functional Internet access for the network. This brings the total budget for the network project to about $3,197. The only recurring charges that the business will have to incur are the payment of monthly subscriptions for Internet access to the Internet service provider. In this case, the amount is $100. Did you like this network design for business sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the free database of academic paper examples at IJMNDI.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs, without even having to register.